Hey guys, Art131 here, and we are in week 7 still, Wednesday. We're going to talk about assignment 14, which is 2-point perspective. Oh, you're getting off easy. My other class has 1-point perspective too, but we're just going to talk about 2-point perspective in this class. So be glad you're here. So, 2-point perspective, as you can see, we're in week 7. We only have a few weeks left, so if you're behind on sending me assignments, all these assignments back here, you need to start sending those so I can give feedback. Maybe you need to work on it a little more, and so on. So let's get that together. Number 14 is the 2-point perspective house or city. I mean, that's 1-point perspective. Let's get rid of that. Here's a city block in 2-point perspective. Now, some of these are, here's an actual photograph. Some of these are more intricate than not, but what basically makes a 2-point perspective is, let's use this one, is that you have 2 points of perspective or 2 vanishing points on a horizon line. The reason you have those, as opposed to 1, like in illusion of depth, there's 1 and everything's kind of in front of you going off to 1. That's because everything's straight on and in front of you. It's not turned. If you notice, all these buildings are slightly turned away from you from one side to the other, and they have a corner that is closest to you. So in this front building, that's the corner that's closest to you. In all these other ones, it would be that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner. That's the one that's closest to you as you're looking at this or standing, looking. If you were to be standing there looking at that city block, that's the corner that's closest, and then all on the other buildings, that corner, that corner, that corner, so you get the idea. That means the building is turned. So this side is turning away from you, and that side's turning away from you. It's not straight on facing you. That's why you have a 2-point perspective. And this is the way it is in real life. If you haven't noticed it, start looking and you'll see it. Now, the horizon line is back here, right here. It's basically where your eye level would be. You could be up on a really high ladder, then the horizon point would be here, and everything you'd be looking at the roofs. Or down a hill, you'd be looking up at these buildings. But we're just sort of standing in front of them. And the idea is that everything that is not facing you directly is actually going away from you. It's going in a distance away from you. It's getting further away from you as it goes down this line or that line. So that corner's the closest and that one isn't. That means that corner's going away from you in distance. This is why we have the perspective of 2-point perspective on these. And all the lines on either side of that corner go to either the left or the right or the left. Perspective point. So we're taking this corner right here, the top of the building, top of that building, top of that building, top of that building, all go in a line with a ruler toward that perspective point. And then that's where you draw your building top. Where you want it to end is up to you. Then you draw a vertical line on all these. This one's a little longer than that one's a little shorter. This one's maybe in the middle. You decide that. But all the tops and the bottoms, the floor, all go to that perspective point. And the sidewalk. Goes to the perspective point. Of course, there's a little bit of a curb on the sidewalk, so there's two lines that go that way and two lines that go this way, and then there's a vertical line there. So all these vertical lines just go straight down. Wherever you want your windows, wherever you want your doors, you decide where that is. All the tops and bottoms of all the windows and all the doors and all the signs go to this perspective point. So on this side of the buildings, right side here, all the windows, if you put a ruler right here, going into here, and all these, and the door, top of the door, ruler, this one, that's why it changes. That's why these are angled like that. These are angled a little different. This is about in the middle, so you don't see an angle where your eye view is. And then these are below your eye level. So they are now angled going up. And this is how it is. This is real perspective. It's an illusion because if you walk over here and look at these buildings straight on, everything's going to look different. You walk over here and look at these buildings straight on, the whole perspective changes again, and they all look different. They're all straight on to you. As you move, whatever you take 2-3 steps in any direction, the whole perspective is going to change. Okay, so I'll provide a video on this. This is the city block, which you can do. You can do also a house. And here are the images of houses. Why is it coming up like this? Okay. That's a pretty intricate house. Let's take and this is like a modern house, which is like cubes. This is in 2 points perspective, and so is this, believe it or not. The basic thing of that is this idea. Let's take this one. You see the lines going to the perspective point? On this roof, the ceiling, the pitch roof is a different take on it. I'll explain that. All the vertical lines, doors, windows, side of the building, this is the closest corner to you. So everything else goes to that perspective point, even these stairs. You draw stairs really easily. They come out here and go down and down, down, down. All those corners, take a line and go to the perspective point with a ruler. Same here, take a line, go to the perspective, go to the perspective. Bottoms of the windows, tops of the windows, bottom of the door, top of the door, all the same. Goes to that side or goes to this side, depending on where that corner is. Now you decide how wide you want your house. You could have cut it off here, or you could bring it way over here if you wanted to. And then this side's a little shorter, so that's like a rectangle. The roof, if you want a pitched roof on it, then you basically go up just past the middle with a straight line, about up here, just past the middle of this bottom line, and put how tall you want your roof, and then go to the perspective point. This side doesn't, because you're not seeing that. But this bottom of this perspective point, and then you're going to angle 2 lines down to the corner of the buildings. As you see, there's an overhang for the rain to run off. So it's not right on the corner. You see that corner there? It's not right on the corner. It's a little beyond the corner. You give yourself a room for runoff from rain. All houses have it. Okay? Now, if you're understanding this, you want to get a little more intricate, you can do something like this. There's many ideas here on the houses. Once you get the idea correct with a 2-point perspective, you can make whatever. Here's an adobe sort of house. Here's a kind of a Gothic looking, it's a cross between Gothic and Spanish. Well, okay. Here's like a home on the frontier sort of idea. In this one, many ideas. I'll provide a video on doing this. So watch the video. What I want you to do when you're done making all the proportions and the angles is shade it in. So don't send it to me like this with no shading. I want something like this. And then finish it up. Put a sky in there. Put some trees around. Like this one. So something in the sky, right? It's not white as paper. Maybe have a little fence out here. Some bushes. This has got a landscape in it, or sort of mountains behind it. This one's got like palm trees and things right here, blah, 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 but the sky is kind of void, but I think you should actually put a sky in. It's not that hard to do. Finish it up, because it might be your final. You might like this so much you want to make it your final. You don't want a white sky and white ground. Like, where's the ground? Where's the sky? So you could do this sort of idea. Modern home, the older, more rustic or frontier home, with Spanish home, or Adobe sort of take on things, Arizona-ish type. Many different styles here of homes. They're all in 2-point perspective because there's a corner that's closest to you. Everything else on that side going away. Everything on this side going away. Okay? So watch those videos and get that together. I'm going to talk about you're going to either do the city block, a modern home, or one of these other type of homes, or something really basic. If it's very challenging, you're having to struggle, but finish it up with bushes and trees and tone everywhere. All right, so the homework is drawing a corner of the room, which is basically an inverted idea to the 2-point perspective. Why do I say inverted? Well, see if I find a diagram here. Basically, it's this idea that here's your perspective points, right? There's 2-point perspectives. But the corner is furthest away from you in this one, so it's opposite. It's sort of inverted. It's the opposite of what we were doing with the wall or the corner of the room closer to you. Then the lines went down to the perspective point from there, and well, this is going inside now, and this is the furthest away from you. So the ceiling line goes to that perspective point. The ceiling line here goes to that perspective point. The floor goes to that perspective point, and on this side it goes to this one. And all the doors and windows, it acts just the same as the buildings we were talking about in the other. They go to the perspective point too. It's kind of backwards. And then all these squares, if you were to draw those, they go to that perspective point and this perspective point. And if you take a ruler on all these, they're going to those perspective points. Then various takes on the corner of the room. Look at these. Some are very intricate. But you see the ceiling. I want to see the ceiling and the floor, the couch, the dresser, the pictures on the wall, the door opening here, the window frame over there, all going to perspective points on this side or that side. I'll provide a video on this too. But that is what is going on. Some of these are one point. That's the 2-point perspective. This is a 1-point perspective, which I'm not really doing this time, so that's why it looks different, because that wall behind there is facing you directly, straight on. So it's like a vanishing point in the middle here, and all these lines are going to the vanishing point, kind of like the illusion of depth. But I want you to do it in 2-point perspective, so ignore that one. And do it in the 2-point perspective, corner of the room. And you can get really intricate about it. But all these lines, all those lines are going to a perspective point, probably over here somewhere. If you drew a line from here, Going up here, it's probably somewhere up here in the top because you're kind of hanging, you're kind of looking down at everything. These are almost at eye level. So you're really up on a chair or something in this one. But look at the video, and match that out for the most part. But, you know, intricate, at least do maybe one dresser or something in there, or a couple of windows anyway, to show the corner of the room. And the top of the ceiling, bottom of the floor, windows, going to the perspective points, which are on the other side here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so look for that video on both of these and get started. Anything else you haven't sent me, send it to me. We're winding down. We got like, what, 3-4 weeks left. All right, thanks.